guys! Welcome to our channel. I'm Nicole.
I'm Tiffany.
So this is our very first YouTube video, and what we're going to be sharing with you is how to start a media agency here in Singapore. Because the both of us, we personally just opened our own media agency called Kaizen Media, and we hope that we can share a bit more about our business journey here, as well as provide you with some useful information and advice.
Yeah, so going to this, we actually did a lot of research. There were so many different sources telling us different things about registering your business and stuff like that. So that's why we decided to create this video to help you guys out. Maybe you guys are thinking of starting your own business or maybe even a media agency just like us.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But just a disclaimer, we're not saying that we know best or this is the best way to do it, because this is what works for us, and we just hope that whatever information we're going to be sharing with you can help one or two of you out there. So without further ado, let's start the video.
Alright, so let's start off with creating your brand. So when you first want to start your business, you probably have an idea in mind.
Yeah.
So what you gotta do is actually find a problem in the market and use that idea to solve that problem. So think about the different services you want to offer and how you can value add to the other businesses or your clients that you are working with.
So then you gotta think about what product or service are you exactly offering. So for us, because we studied mass communication together in school, and we have personally done freelance media works for companies out there, so that was why when we came together we decided to provide media solutions to companies. So the services we provide are like social media management, videography, photography, web design and development. So definitely you have to think and be clear on what exactly are you offering to your clients or your customers.
Yeah, then the next thing you gotta do is find who you want to target. Your target audience is super important.
You can't provide one thing that appeals to everyone, because every age group and every demographic has different preferences, right? So that is definitely something important to think about. Yeah, and then next, what you have to think about is how exactly do you want to operate your business, meaning what is your business model. So there are actually many different business models out there, but for us, we are operating as an agency-based model. So what it means is that as an agency, our clients are engaging us to provide them with a very niche service, and in turn they will provide us payment for that. So in terms of media agency wise, there are actually different business models. So there could be a boutique media agency, which is what we are, and the other one is a full service agency.
For a boutique media agency, I would say the lead times will be shorter. Yeah, when it comes to like client work and like going back and forth with designs and stuff like that, as compared to maybe a bigger company doing media stuff.
So then the next point that you have to think about is your unique selling point or point of differentiation. So basically it means what makes you different from your competitors. Why should I engage you instead of this other company, right? And one good example that I personally really like is Crocs, because I have the Crocs slides. So yeah, why Crocs is so special is because have you ever seen like other shoe brands out there that has that kind of design? Yeah, so it's very interesting, and that's why people remember them. So I think taking Crocs as an example, you can think of it as what makes your business different. Why will people remember you for?
Alright, so next very important thing would be your branding. So when it comes to branding, you need to think about your brand name, your tagline, and also your logo. So those are very important. It helps your clients to remember who you are. Yeah, and your brand story is something that you also might want to consider. So think about how you want to package everything and give
what
your
are
clients
your values, what your values are as a business as well. Okay, so then now we have actually gone through the first 5 things when you're starting a business, and now we can proceed on to tell them more about the more like official / boring / tedious part of starting a business,
but super important part.
Yes, that's right, it's super important. So that is actually to register your business. And in Singapore, we register our business with ACRA, which stands for Accounting and Corporate Regulatory Authority.
Long word.
That's a long word. Yeah, but anyway, there are actually pros and cons to registering your business. We would say it's best to register a business if you want to operate like a full-fledged service. But there are many shops nowadays, like for example Instagram-based shops where you are home-based, and I think it's absolutely fine to perhaps not register your business if it's just like a home-based, like a small thing that you're doing.
I think another pro for registering your business is you're able to get grants from the government.
Yeah, that's right.
And that will actually help make your business grow even further.
So then the cons of registering a business is there's a lot of paperwork, which not many of us like, unless like you love accounting and all of that. I guess when you register a business as well, you have to pay for taxes because they do recognize the income that you're getting. So that's basically the pros and cons of registering a business with ACRA. So when you're registering your business, there are many different business types that you have to choose from.
Like for example, if you were to register yourself as an LLP, or if you were to register yourself as a private limited firm, you have to pay different taxes as well. So you really got to do your research and look into it.
The registration fees for LLP is $100 as well as sole proprietor, whereas for private limited is $300.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Once you have identified what business type you want to register your business as, then you can proceed to apply for your name, your business name, and that costs $15, which I believe is quite affordable. And then now we can move on to building your brand identity.
Okay, so for building your brand identity, things that you want to look out for, maybe let's first go through how to choose your brand logo. So when you choose your brand logo, right, you gotta really think about how you want people to remember you, and also include colors, but don't go overboard with the colors. So maybe I would suggest maximum 2 to 3 colors. That would be really good. And also in your brand logo, you might want to include your brand name, right? So you might want to choose a proper font for that as well. Yeah, so different font has different feels. You can go online, there's like a wide variety of fonts, and test them out, see which one looks better, because all your brand logos will actually be creating a holistic branding identity for you and your company. So that's very important.
Speaking from a designer, right? Yeah. So now that Tiffany has covered like brand logo, brand color, and the brand font, right?
Yeah.
So then the next important thing is to have your website.
Yes.
So especially for our agency or our industry, it is very important to have a website because it's essentially like your portfolio of works, and that is where prospective clients will go and see before they engage you. So it's very important to actually get your website up. And I'll let her share with you more because she created our website.
Okay, so for websites, what you have to do is first design how you want your website to look. So your look and feel. So what we did for our website is we used the software Adobe XD and just basically have the different wireframes and templates on how you want your website to look and the different placements of content. So copywriting is very, very important for your website. Think about copywriting, think about photos for your website. And another thing is there are a lot of ways to create a website nowadays. There's so many different platforms like, for example, Wix, WordPress. Those are the common ones. For Wix and WordPress, you don't need to have any knowledge on coding. So that will be very good for beginners and stuff like that, because they have already templates that you can use and follow. From having your templates done on Wix and WordPress, you will then have to link it to a domain. So for example, for us, we buy our domain
on GoDaddy, and there are many different domain sites that you can purchase your domain from. So just do your research and find something that is suitable for you. But definitely we recommend choosing a domain that only has your company name. So like for example, ours is kaizenmediasg.com. And in terms of like, the back part of the domain, usually people recommend .com instead of like .asia or like .something. So then now that we have already had our website, then another important aspect that to build your brand in order to reach out to clients is through social media, right? And there's so many platforms out there, so you gotta think about what platform do you want to be on, because definitely there is no point in being on every single platform, right? Because you should be on the platform where your audiences are. So one of the more common ones for sure is Instagram, Facebook, and if you are reaching out to business, then LinkedIn may be a good platform for you as well.
I feel nowadays especially, social media is kind of the first touch points for your clients to you. So make sure your social media looks very well put together, because it gives you holistic, because it gives you a very nice image on how your brand looks and stuff like that.
So it has to reflect your branding very well.
Yes.
So that's why we also recommend to plan out a content calendar, because for our personal Instagrams, you can just post whatever you feel like doing, right? But in this case, when you're running a business, you gotta remember that whatever you post reflects how your business is like. So it's best to plan out the different postings. So what we do is we plan out content calendars with different content types. And of course, the content that you put out should add value once again to your customers, to your followers, so that it gives them a reason to follow. So that is mainly about, preparing your brand and all. But as a business, your main objective is to what?
Reach out to clients
in order to earn revenue. And the reason is because you have to have money, revenue to keep your business going.
Yeah.
So it starts off by reaching out to clients so that you can get some income.
So there are a few ways that you can do it. You can do it by DMing people or through your personal contacts, word of mouth. You can do it through
Cold calling,
call.
cold email.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I think definitely the most effective way of reaching out to clients is through word of mouth, because people would have already known you and they trust you better. So with regards to cold email, cold call, cold DM, or however you call it, you definitely have to expect a very high rejection rate. To us, even if nobody replies us for cold email, cold DMs, it's okay because we still feel that there is awareness that has been put out there. So they may not need our service right now, but they may or may not remember you because you have already
They'll come back
contacted
to you.
Yeah.
They'll come back to you when they need you. So I feel like that's really, really important.
Or hopefully they do. So let's say you were to get a client and that is like great news. Then you gotta think about the next step of your business, which is client onboarding.
Yeah. So client onboarding is basically where you need to ask your clients what problem they are facing, understand their problem, and then come up with a solution that you're able to help them with. So for example, for us, we actually have a questionnaire. So we created a Google form and we'll send this out to our clients when they first approach us to ask them more questions about what they need, their problems, and how we can help.
So once you have agreed on the project and everything with your client, then it is very good as a business to have a contract. And the reason for that is you want to safeguard yourself and to really make things official in paper so that both you and your client will understand what are the terms of our partnership or collaboration here. So in terms of a contract, what it should have is definitely important details of the project, such as your quotation and, for example, deliverables. How many posts are you going to do up for them in 1 month?
So for deliverables, you have to be very, very specific. Indicate whether it's a GIF or a static post, whether you're going to include Instagram stories and stuff like that. This all for social media management though. For example, if you're going to do a video project, that would be how many minutes of video will you be editing, or
how many cuts, like how many drafts that you're going to do for them. You should also state your payment terms and your terms and conditions. For example, you should receive payment after 30 days of issuing the invoice. So the contract is really there as a legal document to
protect yourself, I say.
So besides the contract, another important paperwork / document is definitely your invoice, because that is the way you will get your payment and you definitely want to earn some revenue, right? So during the payment period, you have to send an invoice to remind your clients of the payment and when it's due. So a tip would be to actually collect a deposit if you and your clients are agreeable to that, and also state the payment method. So do you want to be paid via PayNow or a bank transfer or check payment? So these are important things to consider in terms of like legal documents and paperwork. Since we are on the note of like finances and all, we have to go into the most crucial part, which is finance. So maybe Tiff can share more about like the bank account.
Okay, so there are actually different business bank accounts that you can go for. I know that OCBC offers it, DBS, POSB offers it, and there's another one called Aspire. So it
but
really
there are definitely
depends.
more business bank accounts out there.
Yeah, those are just the few that we've heard of.
So some things you have to take note when you are choosing a bank account is the limit on your fast transfers, such as your PayNow. Is there a minimum balance you must have? If not, they may charge you, and how much will that be? And also, what is the monthly fee that you have to pay the bank for having that account? So these are important things to consider. Besides having a bank account, you gotta think of your capital. How much are you gonna invest into your business as capital to kickstart the business? So for us, we actually put in like $500 each to start our business, and that's more than enough because the fees we had to pay was for our ACRA registration fee. So on the note of finances, as a business, you gotta think about your overhead costs, which is the expenses that you're incurring to keep your business running. Examples include like productivity services such as Google Drive or
WeTransfer,
Dropbox, that sort of thing, and also software costs, especially if you are doing a media service like us. We have to pay for Adobe and
Adobe Suite, so
and it's not cheap, you know. So
includes your Premiere Pro, your Photoshop,
and also when just now we mentioned about website, right? So web domains and all. So that is something to take note of.
Alright, so now moving on to accounting. Accounting is super tedious, but it's so important. For accounting wise, just make sure that you have all your transactions, you note down every transaction you make, because at the end of the year we will have to do, for
Annual
limited
filings.
liability partnerships, we have to do annual filings. So we have to declare how much we've spent and how much we've earned, so our revenues and our expenses.
And that comes in the form of like an income statement or balance sheet.
Yeah.
So if you have experience doing accounting, or you have learned accounting, you can do it yourself. If not, you can also engage an accountant to help you to settle that.
Yeah, so we've run you through everything we know about starting a media agency here in Singapore. So we've run you through, for example, how you register your business, branding.
Social media.
Yeah, but remember, all this is our experience. Every business is different. And yeah, we hope you learned something from this video, for maybe you're starting your own business and stuff like that.
Yeah, so thank you so much for watching our first ever YouTube video. We'll actually be sharing more media related content on our social media pages as well as our channel here. So do stay tuned, and if you enjoy our content, do like, share and subscribe. And as always, we'll put all the links to our pages in the description box below for you to check it out. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again.
Bye!